Intriguing Insights podcast with Lynn
and Carl
is your weekly invitation to be a fly on the wall for the real, intriguing, yet fun conversations we like to have about life and the world around us.
From our hobbies, interests, and opinions to true crime, current events, and music. Join us as our minds wander together.
You just might be intrigued.
Hey, how are you?
Good. It's past our bedtime.
Yeah, who cares about that? We don't have enough free time, so we're making time.
Yeah, I'm unusually awake tonight as well.
Okay,
I think it's because I had extra coffee.
Yeah, we got only one day off this week, so we're burning the midnight fuel.
We're actually burning the 1 a.m. fuel.
1 a.m.
Yeah.
On a Sunday, right? Wow.
So it's 1 a.m. Monday.
So it's technically Monday morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 days a week is it's a little tough, but I can handle it.
I'm not sure how you do it, honey.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
And you do it so well.
Yeah. So today, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we got to introduce the fam.
Okay.
We've sort of introduced ourselves, and now we got to introduce the family.
All right.
And the family is four-legged.
Four-legged family.
Yeah. So we are big-time animal lovers, right?
Yeah, we don't have kids of our own, so we are going to, we treat our animals like they're kids.
Yeah, seriously, I should be able to claim them on my taxes because, yeah, they're pricey, these animals, but we love them to pieces. So we want to introduce the animals to the world, I guess.
Yes, definitely.
So
they do something special for people. I think I can't imagine not having an animal,
Yeah, I can't imagine that either. I don't understand people that don't have pets. Like, don't you get lonely? I don't know. I just feel like I would be really lonely. I've always had a pet, for the most part.
Oh yeah.
I could probably. There are probably some instances where I didn't have a pet, but for the most of my life, I've had at least a pet.
Oh yeah, the emotional support animals.
Emotional support animals. Well, they sort of all emotionally support us, I feel like.
Oh yeah, and they all have a job. They all have a purpose.
Yeah. They bring so much joy. And they're just goofy sometimes. They just make you laugh.
Protect you.
They protect you.
Wake you up when you need to be woken up.
Yes, they wake you up consistently.
Yeah, and they bring, especially for people that don't have kids, it kind of fills a void of not having a kid,
It does. And, I think that's kind of how I acquired so many pets. Because I was trying to fill that void of not having children. That's kind of how it started. And then it morphed into, at least as an adult, acquiring pets. But
well, at least it didn't get out of control,
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Because cat people, oof. You can get
What's wrong with cat people?
No, it's not anything like that. But
I was a cat people.
You can get one cat.
Okay.
And then it gets out one time. And then you have a litter of cats.
That's why you spay and neuter your animals.
And then in 1 year, you have 40 cats.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's so bad.
They multiply very fast.
They multiply very, very fast. And kittens, they're cute, man.
Of course they're cute.
I love those little kitties, but I don't want to have 30 of them, I bottle fed a lot, probably 2 full litters of cats.
Oh
I
yeah.
bottle fed each of them, and yeah.
I've never actually bottle fed a kitten. I've never had one that young before. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I considered myself a cat person for a long time because cats is all I had. Growing up as a kid, we had cats. We had parakeets. We had what else? We had fish. That was really about it. We never had dogs. So I
No,
guess
huh?
I was a cat person just purely because that was mostly what I had experience with, and so I considered myself a cat person. Not that I dislike dogs, but we never had a dog, at home growing up or anything like that. So I just consider myself a cat person. But I was, I feel like I've been converted.
You became a dog person.
I think I did.
Nice. I'm more of a dog person too. I like to have at least one cat,
Hmm.
but dogs is where it's at.
Yeah. It's just different. It's a different kind of connection, I think, that you have with a dog than you do with a cat.
Oh yeah, a cat doesn't need you.
Well, and it's not that they don't need you per se. It's just, I guess, they're a little more solitary,
Yeah, they're off doing their own thing.
and they do kind of look for you and look for connection and interaction. But I guess it's a different type of interaction. It's definitely a lot more on their terms, I think, and it's probably maybe a little bit less interaction.
Yeah, they
But
don't.
they sort of still do seek interaction with
Yeah,
their
they do a
humans.
little bit of stuff, but
But I'll tell you,
a
having a
cat.
relationship
Well,
with a dog is different.
well, just think about this one. I will put this in perspective for you. The cat's not gonna protect you from a robber.
You don't think so?
No, but that dog will.
That is true. That is true.
So that one being alone right there proves the different kind of connection that you have with a dog.
It's true.
And they also say if you want to test a person,
Hmm.
bring a dog around them
That's true.
because the dog's going to tell you
Hmm.
whether or not that you can trust that person.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so
That
a
I
dog
I believe
knows.
that.
A dog knows.
I believe that for sure. I've definitely been in situations where the dog sort
If
of
the
was like,
dog don't
you
like
know,
you might as well get them out.
yeah,
You know.
well, it's a good thing they liked you.
Yeah, they did. At first, they didn't. They were like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "Yo!" And it took a little bit,
It took
but
like 5 minutes, and then you were
and then they were
friends.
good. They were good after that. It wasn't that fast, but they were trying to feel me out a
They were
little
just
bit.
sussing you out, But yeah, it's definitely different with a dog. So Valkyrie is actually the first dog that I've ever had. Um, I had a puppy for less than 24 hours that I had acquired off of somebody from Facebook, just a free puppy, whatever. Um, and I got the puppy, and turns out he had parvo. His name was Maximus, and he was really small, and I think the parvo was just too far gone at that point, and so we had him for less than 24 hours and had to take him to the vet, and he stayed there. That was the beginning of COVID, so we couldn't like be there with him, but we had to drop him off, and he was there for about 3 days, and then they called and said that he died, and so that was really heartbreaking.
Mm.
He was really really cute, and it was funny now that I think back at it. He looks like Phoenix would. If he had grown up, he would have looked like Phoenix. He had the little white tips of the paws, and he was
Okay.
brown brindle and everything like that. I didn't even think of that, but
All right.
so yeah, that was technically the first puppy, but I had him for such a short amount of time. It was hardly an experience with a puppy, and it was a heartbreaking one at that. So I waited. We waited probably. I waited probably like a year or so because apparently parvo, the parvo virus or whatever, lives in the environment. And if you've had a dog that had parvo in your house,
There's a bigger chance that the next animal I could jump
Yeah,
from animal to animal to animal.
it's
Yeah,
very
mange is one of those as well.
right, and it's very
And
difficult.
ringworm in
Yeah,
humans,
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of
contagious.
things. It's like
Okay.
the whole contagion thing.
Yeah.
But apparently, parvo is particularly contagious, and it's particularly hard to kill in the environment. So you could like scrub your house with bleach, all the things,
And there's still
and
a
it's
big
still going to
chance.
be
Yeah.
there, and it just kind of takes time for it to fade out. So I waited at least a year to decide I was going to get another puppy, just because I knew that that puppy had been in the house, and stuff like that, and I didn't want to risk getting another puppy, getting the puppy sick. So we waited a year or so. And I decided that couldn't deal with the heartbreak of doing the whole free puppy thing, because they could be sick and whatever. So I decided I was going to go to a breeder. Even though I'm all for adopt, don't shop. There's tons of animals in the shelters that just want homes.
You were seeking a certain type of dog, so I think you went the right way about it.
I was wanting a certain type of dog. I wanted a pit bull breed. So I did that, and I wanted to make sure the dog was healthy. So I went with a breeder. I did my research because I didn't want to do the whole backyard breeder thing, which I think was the situation with Max.
The backyard boogie.
I didn't want to do that, so I did my research, found out what were the characteristics of a reputable, responsible breeder, and I learned that they do health testing on their animals so that they know they're not breeding animals that have genetic issues.
What was the name? What was the name of this breeder?
The name was LBK Amstaffs.
Okay.
And she's wonderful.
What
I hope she
state? Was it Florida?
Hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her, but St. Augustine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, excellent breeder.
Okay.
Beautiful dogs. Very healthy dogs. So I did my research. I learned about her. She was very reputable. She competes her dogs on shows. In dog sports, does health testing, the whole deal, takes excellent care of the animals.
What was the sport where they find the mole or something in the house?
There's all kinds of sports. So there's just regular dog shows where you're showing the dog, for their appearance and their breed standards.
No, but
and
what's
stuff
the
like that.
one where they like hide something in the barn and the dog's
It's
got to
called
run
barn
and get
hunt.
it? Oh, though that's cool.
Barn hunt, yeah.
And that's what she is bred for, right? That's the
Well, she was from a line of show dogs.
okay.
So I think her dad was a show dog, and her mom was into dog sports. So
Okay.
her mom did Fast Cat, is what it's called.
Okay.
And that's where they chase a lure for, I don't know, 100 yards maybe? I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they chase a lure, and depending on how fast they run that distance, you can calculate their miles per hour and stuff like that. And there's for different dogs there's different handicaps, whatever.
Okay.
And so the point is to do it as fast as possible. Val has done that before.
Oh, nice.
She can run 24 miles per hour.
Wow, that's getting it.
She's fast.
So my friend had a pit bull, and we actually were driving in a car.
Mm-hmm.
My first time driving a stick shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had one of these champion dogs too, and it was from a breeder and all that. It was super expensive. So what we did is we took her toy, and we had tied a rope around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm driving, and we're seeing how fast the dog could run behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in like the 15 to 20 mile an hour range. Pit bulls are so fast and so athletic.
Yeah, they're very athletic. So, she's from a line of show dogs and sport dogs. And we put down a deposit, waited on her litter to be born.
How long did it take?
Like I said, we waited about a year. Probably took about 6 months of waiting.
6 months once you started getting the paperwork rolling.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of scammers out there. So if you're shopping for the champions, go legit and pay the money, because you're going to get what you want.
Yeah. And of course, do your research. Only go with a reputable breeder.
And if you got to travel to get the dog, travel, because it's essentially buying a kid.
Yeah,
You're buying
yeah,
a family member, you
yeah.
know?
You're buying a living sentient being that's
Yes.
gonna
And be
rely
ready.
on you.
And be ready to take care of it like your kid. Like if you don't,
Yeah,
if you can't take care of an animal like it's a kid, then don't get one.
yeah.
Don't
Because
get
that's
one.
honestly, they deserve no less than that,
You're right.
in my opinion. But
So if your friend has a puppy and you're like $100, don't do it.
yeah, well,
Unless you're ready to take care of that thing for the next 15 to 20 years.
of course, exactly. So yeah, we got Valkyrie. She wasn't even supposed to be a companion animal. She was supposed to be a show dog or a sport dog, but I guess no show families chose her, and so she was offered to us as a companion animal.
She would have did good, I think, in shows
Yeah,
as well.
I think she started getting some training on how to do the whole posing thing and stuff like that for shows. Um, and I think she would have had the temperament, and you can see some of her mannerisms where she learned that. Still, she's very proper and she holds herself a certain way, and she has this little prance that she does. So she's a gorgeous dog. So anyway, her name is Valkyrie.
The purebred shuffle.
Yes, she's an American Staffordshire Terrier. She is
Best dogs ever.
5 years old, and she is beautiful. She's all white. I think she's technically what they consider like dapple because she's got her skin has spots on it. So whenever
almost
she gets
like a Dalmatian almost.
yeah, so when she gets wet, you can see all her spots. But when she's dry, it's the white fur. You can sort of see the spots through, and she's got spots on her belly and stuff. But
She kind of looks like the dog from the Little Rascals.
oh yeah,
You ever seen that movie?
I think
The dog,
I
and they
think
call
so,
the
yeah.
dog Spot.
Isn't the
Yeah.
dog's name Petey or something like that?
I think it's named Spot.
Spot? I don't know.
Spot,
Yeah,
yeah.
it had the
So
big black spot
yeah,
around the
well
eye.
they actually painted
Yes.
that thing on the dog.
Well, she doesn't have the big spot.
But
She's got natural eyeliner.
So for
though.
Halloween, I can draw the little dot around the dog's eye, and I can do the alfalfa.
Oh, hey, there you
You
go.
know, because they say I kind of look like alfalfa as a kid. You know, with the little, and then he sees Darla, and the little hair goes.
Aw, would I
in
be
the
your
back.
Darla?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Darla, baby, I love you. And I'll sing you the song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the boombox.
Okay. Very
Okay.
cute. So yeah, she's 5 and she's an American Staffordshire Terrier, and she is a beautiful dog and so intelligent and goofy, and she loves to play, and she is my first dog, and
First kid.
yes, the first kid, and I'll tell you, she has changed me. She's a wonderful dog, very intuitive. She can tell when you're not feeling well, and then she kind of just wants to be close to you and stuff like that. But she's just wonderful, and so I've had her since she was 16 weeks old. So she was about 4 months old. She was a puppy. She was 12 pounds when I got her. Of
Oh,
pup.
I've seen a little picture of her as a puppy, and she looked like a little piglet.
Yes, she was 12 pounds of puppy adorableness, and she grew so fast. And
She's probably about 60.
yeah, she's
70
hovers
maybe?
between 60 and 65 pounds now, so she's a big girl.
Yeah, but that's still pit bulls can. I've seen some monsters.
Yeah,
You know,
she's a big girl, but it's all muscle, and
Yeah. Swimmer.
yeah, she likes to swim. We have a pool, and so she likes to swim, and she has actually had swim lessons because one time when she was a puppy, she fell into the pool and kind of panicked, and it scared me. So I decided she needed to know how to swim, and there are actually people that give dog swim lessons.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
You really don't have to give dogs swim lessons, but I guess it does help. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know how to teach her how to swim apart from like bringing her in the
Throw
pool
her in.
and
Yeah,
and,
sink
and
or
that
swim.
was
you
and
know?
that was traumatic
Yeah.
for both me and her because
She's
she
got
was
it now,
she was a
though.
little panicky.
Oh yeah.
And I was a little panicky too, so I said, "Well, if there's somebody that can like come to the house and give her," so we paid somebody to come to the house, and she, I guess, had taught animals. She did like animal CPR training and all that. She did all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Swimming lessons was just part of what she did. But she had her with her leash, and she basically had to pretty much pull her into the pool because she didn't want to go in and stuff like. But it kind of helped her, and she led her around the pool on the leash. So she had her techniques for teaching the dog, and treats were involved and things like that. So the point was to teach the dog how to remain above the water, keep their head above the water if they ever got in, and also to find the stairs so that they could safely get out of the pool if they fell in the pool.
Yes.
So she learned how to do that. And then it became a thing that was fun for her. And she actually wanted to get in the pool.
Oh, yeah. She loves it.
She loves it.
And she goes crazy when I do out there to go in the pool. And we actually have to lock her up when we go out there to go swimming because she wants to be right in it.
Yes.
But the bad thing is she bites.
She gets excited.
You said she's trying to rescue me, but I don't think that's the case.
You don't think so?
But maybe.
She'll bark at you a lot.
No.
And then she'll get in the water and she'll swim towards you
and bite
and nip you, and then she'll turn around and then go back to the
It's like a little baby shark.
I'm not sure what that's about. I think it's
she got me. Yep.
She wants to rescue you, but who knows?
Yeah, whatever, Whatever.
So yeah, she enjoys the pool. So the pool is a daily thing for her. She's always got her paws in the pool, or she's doing a lap in the pool. So she likes to swim. What else about her that's interesting? I don't know. She's just an all around good dog. She doesn't like her paws touched at all. Like, nope. I cannot trim her nails. They just have to kind of grind down as she runs around on the pavement. I'm not sure what that's about, but she does not like her paws touched. But apart from that, she's a very sweet and very intelligent dog. So that's Valkyrie.
Yeah, she can tell when you're going for the paw too.
Yes.
I try to sneak one every once in a while, but no, there's no. Even if you accidentally touch it, she wants to go into fight mode.
Yeah, she doesn't like it for some reason. Yep. So, and she's actually recovering from surgery right now as we speak. She's 6 weeks into an 8-week recovery where she's got to be confined and limited activity, running, jumping, playing, things like that. She'd torn her CCL ligament in one of her back legs, and so she had to have the surgery to fix that and get all kinds of fancy hardware in her knee.
She'll probably set off a metal detector, maybe?
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose she could. So
seems to be doing pretty well, though.
Oh, she's doing wonderfully. She's doing really well. We were worried about the recovery because she doesn't like being confined. And so she's spoiled to death, let me tell you.
And we already went through the same surgery with the other dog as well.
But she's done really, really well. And of course, I've had sedatives to give her to kind of take the edge off and.
Yeah, and this dog is so white that you used to have to put sunscreen on the dog.
Yeah, I did when she was a little pup, because when she would go to doggy daycare, they would have them outside playing, the whole day pretty much. And she would come home, she'd be all pink and sunburned. I had to put doggy sunscreen on her, and she hated it. There's actually like a spray sunscreen that's particularly for dogs. You can't use human sunscreen on dogs because it's toxic.
Yes.
There's an actual sunscreen made for dogs that I had to buy from Amazon. And she hated it. Because, they don't want things sprayed on them. And she in particular doesn't like things put on her. So I did that. I tried to do that for a little while, which was a pain. And then eventually I switched to the the doggy shirts that have UPF, what they call UPF or sun protection built into the fabric.
Yeah, I actually seen those things.
Yeah, they have them for humans.
Cool. Yeah.
Too. But yeah, so I would put the dog shirts on her, and you kind of go down to her paws and things like that. And of course, she hated that too. And several times from doggy daycare, I'd pick her up, and they're like, "Well, the shirt got ripped because she got to the shirt and ripped it off of herself.
Mhm.
So she wore it most of the day, but second half of the day she didn't have her shirt on, and so I said, okay, well,
She
only
got
let
a
her
little.
don't let her be outside the whole day, so
She
she
got a
doesn't get
little
sunburned.
farmer tan
Yeah,
on the
she would
dog,
get all pink. She was just
like a
cute.
little
She was already a little pink puppy
little
anyway.
piglet.
I know,
Yeah.
an actual piglet. So yeah, she's a pasty one, that one, but she's gorgeous. And I love her to pieces. She's my princess, and her trusty
So,
companion
how did you come up with the name though
Valkyrie.
before you end about this?
So the reason why she's named Valkyrie is that my former husband was of Scandinavian descent, and was into learning about his culture and things like that at the time. So we decided to name her Valkyrie because Valkyries are um, in Norse mythology. They're like angels that fly around the battlefield who retrieve those who have been killed in battle, the ones that died bravely and valiantly in battle, and they carry their souls to Valhalla, which is like the Norse heaven, basically. And
Okay.
so they're and the Valkyries are all female.
So they're essentially battlefield nurse.
Yeah, they're like battlefield,
Something.
women
Yeah.
that make decisions.
Goddess.
They're like goddesses, and they're strong, and
Of
they're
war.
portrayed as strong females. That,
Okay.
And so I wanted a strong female name for
That-
my little girl puppy.
Yeah, that's good. That's
You know?
actually a really good one.
So her name was Valkyrie, was the name that was chosen for her.
Gotcha.
And do you know that she has a middle name?
What is the middle name?
I've told you the middle name before, haven't
I don't think I remember this.
Her middle name is Pearl.
Pearl.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Valkyrie Pearl, because she's a beautiful little
She
pearl.
looks like a pearl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've gotten professional pictures taken of her wearing pearls.
Okay.
I think I've shown them to you before. Maybe.
Yeah.
I will now if I haven't.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, we need to do a photo shoot for the
Yes.
animals.
Yes.
I'll bust out that camera and we
Mhm.
will get it done.
Yes. So her name is Valkyrie Pearl. And her trusty companion is Phoenix. You know what his middle name is?
No.
Asher.
Asher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Asher's a good name.
Yeah. Phoenix
It's
Asher.
a real modern name.
It is.
Yes.
So yeah, her trusty companion is Phoenix. He's our other
Partner in
dog.
crime.
Yes, her partner in crime. They are the best of friends, and
I think
love that.
I think he's the leader.
You think so?
Sometimes, yeah.
I feel like he's the protector.
He starts it.
He's definitely the protector.
He starts the shit. And then
He does.
and then she gets blamed for it.
No.
Yeah. For sure.
She is totally the shit starter, and he, will gladly join in. Now, I don't put it past that he has probably learned how to be mischievous from her, but he is a very obedient dog.
He is.
He's such a good boy.
Oh yeah, he's trained very well.
And I adopted him. He's a rescue. He's a pit mix. And I adopted him from the Orange County Animal Shelter. And let me tell you, he's just an angel. He's just an angel. He's so obedient. He listens. He's very smart. Very goofy at the same time.
Clumsy a little bit.
Like he's like
Yeah.
when it's playtime, like it's playtime.
Yeah, we just seen that.
And
We had a little dance party.
Yes, we had a little dance party. He does his little wiggle and stuff like that. And he's
goofball.
Yeah, he's very goofy, but at the same time, when he's called, he comes.
Oh yeah.
When it's time to go to the kennel, he'll
He
go.
protects.
He's very protective.
Oh, yeah.
Of us, of Valkyrie as well. He's protective of her. And he's just great. And sometimes it's funny because he'll know that he's doing something mischievous and gets caught, and I don't even have to tell him to go to his kennel, and he's already on his way. He's like, "All right, I'm caught. I'll be right over there to the kennel." here I go. Yep, and he'll just sit
Busted.
in there and wait until the door is closed. He's just that smart of a dog that he knows when he's done something wrong and he will go punish himself. So yeah, Phoenix, and he's like a brown brindle, and he's got white tips on his little paws, and he's got the most beautiful hazel eyes. So he's a very handsome dog, and it's funny because when I when I got him, I sort of wanted a dog that was slightly smaller than Valkyrie, and she was already 60 pounds. She was already fully grown. Um, and so I went to the shelter, saw him. I wasn't planning on getting a dog that day. I was just gonna go look at the shelter. Okay, big mistake, and I can't. I don't know why I thought I could do that.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
I don't know why I thought I was gonna go to the shelter and not leave with an animal. Like that was ridiculous. But anyway, I went. And it was kind of a jarring experience because it was so crowded. It was hot. It was the middle of summer. You could see the animals. Some of them were really stressed out, and some of them were sick, and it was just a sad place.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
And I was just bawling my
Don't
eyes out.
go there unless you're planning on rescuing an animal.
Yes.
Because it's pretty sad.
Because yeah, I walked in there and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I'm just walking through the aisles looking at the animals and just tears streaming down my face. And as I was leaving the place, he was in one of the last kennels that I walked past. And I saw him, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm crying. And he's in there, and he walks up to the gate of the kennel and presses himself up against it so I can pet him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And I look at his card that, they have the card with their information there, and he's a year and a half old, and he's ready to go today and waive his adoption fees waived because he was fully vetted already and had been spayed and neutered and clear bill of health, no issues, and he was ready to go that day. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. And I could tell he hadn't been affected by being in the shelter environment yet. He was still very sweet.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
So I actually left the building and was attempting to drive away.
And you couldn't do it.
I could not.
Good
I
thing
sat in the car and I ugly cried.
Okay. And then you went back in.
I called my former husband at the time, and I was like, "Oh, there's this dog, and oh my gosh, he was so sweet, and oh my gosh, it's so sad, it's so crowded, it's so hot in there. Oh my gosh, it's terrible." He's like, "Can you start the car and drive out of that parking lot?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just like." He was just so sweet, and it's just awful in there and whatever. And he was like, if you can't start the car and drive out of the parking lot, go get the dog. Okay? Go get the dog. And I was like, I can't leave. I have to go back. And so I ran back in there and I was like, I want to adopt that one. And so they made me do the whole, you have to go take them to the yard and interact with them and things like that and make sure everything's okay. And everything was great. He was so sweet, and, he wanted to play and stuff. And
he was ready to go.
He was ready to go. And I drove away from that parking lot only after I had put him in my back seat.
Good.
And
the rest is history.
That was it. And so I thought that he was going to be smaller than Val. No, he's not.
No,
he's
they're
exactly
about the same size.
Yeah. And in fact, I think he's taller than she is. He was about 35 pounds when I adopted him, and he grew to be 60 pounds. I was like, okay, well, we've got two big dogs.
Oh, yeah.
But he's wonderful, wonderful dog. So, and they are the loves of our life. They sleep in bed with us. We have a king size bed, but we sleep on a sliver of it because they take up most of it usually.
Yeah, it's like a big pile.
Yeah, but it's great because they keep you warm. They keep you warm. They cuddle up. It's nice. It's peaceful. So we don't mind it. Those are the pups.
Yeah, and then he does a perimeter check.
Yes.
It's almost every hour.
Yeah.
He wants to go do the perimeter check and then come back.
Yeah. And last thing at night too, when you get home from work and stuff.
He needs to do
that's you and him doing perimeter check.
Final perimeter check.
Yeah.
And he's afraid of what is it? Afraid of storm?
Hmm. He's afraid of storms. I don't know why, but he will smell the rain coming and he'll start to shiver and want to hide underneath the table and stuff. So he doesn't like the rainstorms, doesn't like thunder. But if it comes to protecting,
He's ready to go.
he's ready to go. Like, he's no longer scared.
Yeah. Awesome dog.
Yeah. And he has two very other important jobs as well. He is dishwasher.
Dishwasher. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's pre-wash cycle for our dishes because whenever he hears me loading the dishwasher, he comes over to, lick the dishes, to get whatever little flavor he can get off of them before they wash.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then his other job that he takes very seriously is alarm clock.
Yep.
Yeah. For you in particular.
Every single day, he will wake me up at about 8. Usually it's about 9.
Yeah.
He'll wake me up
Like
exactly
clockwork.
at 9 o'clock every single morning.
Yes. So that
And
you
then
can
I
go outside.
and I take my cell phone off and I sit there in the yard for about 15-20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I take in the earth and ask, what do you got in store for today? And then I get my day on the road. But yeah, he wakes me up 9 every day. And then when it's daylight savings time, it's actually 8 o'clock. So it's even earlier.
No extra time for you.
Yeah, no extra time. So he knows. He knows what
so
time.
he knows the routine.
Dogs are a timekeeper.
Yes, he knows the routine. Do you know how dogs keep time actually?
How?
It's with their sense of smell. So they measure the passage of time with their sense of smell. And so like that's why it'll seem like the dog when you walk in the house, it's almost like the dog knows and they're excited already that you're coming home because they use the strength of your scent to determine and learn when it is that you're leaving and when you're coming. And so when your smell in the environment has gone down to a certain level, they learn that you then show up through that door. So their sense of smell is actually why they're such good timekeepers.
Wow, I wonder how that works.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It is.
So
it's intriguing.
It's very intriguing. So yeah, those are the pups. We also have 3 cats.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool too.
Yes, and people are always like, whenever I tell them I have dogs and cats, they're like, "Really? You have dogs and cats together? How does that work?" Well, it works. The cats were here first, obviously, but
well, yeah, if the cat dies, the cat dies. Who cares, right? I'm just joking. Just joking.
No, but they've kind of established their little hierarchy. So I figure we actually have one of the pack members here right now.
The leader.
She is and she is a cat.
Yeah, she's the leader of the dogs too.
Apparently, she's the leader of the pack, and so the pack is not all of the animals. Okay, there's a specific membership here. Okay, who's member number 1 of the pack?
Right there.
Right there. And her name is Bagheera.
Oh.
And she is a little black cat. She's got all black, and she's got a little white dot on her chest. And she's a petite, feisty little thing. I call her my little perma kitten because she's actually 10 years old, but she's very small. She looks like a kitten.
Yeah, it looks like a kitten still, which is cool.
Yeah, but she's very feisty.
Silky
and
smooth.
She's in charge.
Silky smooth skin.
Yeah, she's all curled up next to me right now. But so she's member number 1 of the pack. Obviously, Phoenix is in the pack. Valkyrie's in the pack. I'm a member of the pack, and so are you.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it.
And that's it.
That's it. And remember, I said we've got 3 cats. So there's 2 cats that are not part of the pack.
They're exiled.
They're
and explain how this
outsiders.
Pack began.
I don't know how.
You don't know how the pack began?
No idea how it began.
No idea.
It just kind of established itself.
Okay.
I feel like, so when I got Valkyrie, as a puppy,
As a puppy.
she and Bagheera were friends right away because Bagheera was the only cat that we had that was nice to her.
Okay, and she was
The
a
other
puppy
ones
puppy.
slapped her in the face.
Oh, the other cats boxed up this little white, pink, sunburnt
Yeah, they
baby
didn't. They
puppy.
weren't real fond of this new puppy
No
thing, and
way.
the puppy just wanted to suss them out and smell
Uh-huh.
them and stuff. They didn't
Okay.
want her, and so they slapped her in the face.
And she
And
remembered that.
she remembered that. She never forgot.
That's why she doesn't mess with them.
This one, Bagheera did not do that.
Okay.
Bagheera was nice to
She's
her.
like,
She
okay,
was
let me.
curious about the
I mean,
puppy.
I like the little pink sunburnt looking
Yes,
thing.
and she would play with the puppy.
Okay.
So they've always been friends. So I think that's why she's member of the pack because Bagheera was never afraid of the puppy. She never slapped the puppy, and she played with the puppy. So
Okay.
they've always been friends.
Nice.
So then when Phoenix came along, it's interesting because I'm not sure what his experience was with cats prior to me adopting him, but it was almost like Valkyrie, kind of shown him the lay of the land, said, okay, this one's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. Yeah.
We're cool with this one.
Yeah, they
She's
definitely do that.
a friend. The other ones, I'm not sure about. So he
Don't
kind of
mess with
just
them.
fell in line with the whole thing to where he's friends with Bagheera and he tolerates the other cats, but
They grandfathered,
Yeah.
grandfathered him in.
so she kind of Bagheera is kind of she's cool with everybody, so she's a member of the pack. So the reason why we kind of know this hierarchical structure that exists
Yes.
here.
Unspoken rule.
Yes, the unspoken rule, even though they probably speak to each other in their way that I don't know.
Yeah, whatever way that is, which the scientists can't even explain.
Yeah, but the reason why we know is that Bagheera is the only cat that's allowed in our bed when the dogs are in bed with us too. Any other cat that decides that they're going to try to be on the bed as well they're promptly shown the door.
Yeah, maybe their throat ripped out.
And so she's the only one allowed. And it's funny because when the dogs are in bed with us, if they can sense that a cat has jumped on the bed,
They're up.
their heads are up, looking to see who it is and sniffing. I guess they know what Bagheera smells like. And if it's her, then they're fine. If it's another cat, they're not fine, and they know, and they make sure that the other cat goes away, and then they're calm again. So, but anyway, Bagheera is 10. She looks like a kitten. I call her my little perma kitten, and her name comes from the Jungle Book. Bagheera was, I think, one of the Black Panthers in the book.
Okay.
So she's named after that.
So that's where the name came from.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and
I call her Puma because she looks like a puma when she runs she looks like the Puma logo.
Oh.
So that's
Puma logo.
where it came from.
Yeah, so she's Bagheera, aka Puma.
Puma.
And that's also your favorite sneaker brand too. So
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of our cats.
I need some new Pumas.
You do.
Actually.
I want some new Pumas too.
Yeah.
We should go to the Puma store.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's do that soon.
Okay.
So yeah, she was. I acquired her when she was about 6 months old. A friend of ours had found her as a 1-day-old kitten that the stray cat mom that had her had abandoned her because she was, I think, the runt of the litter.
Which explains why she's so little.
Yeah. And she was, she had ants on her and stuff like that. But this friend was able to rescue her and kind of nursed her back to health and bottle fed her and things like that. So one of the interesting behaviors that comes along with a kitten that is not raised by its mother or with its litter mates is that they don't know what's called bite inhibition. So she's bitey. She likes to bite with her little mouth.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like an angry, like vicious, I'm going to draw blood bite, although sometimes it can be.
Oh yeah.
It's like more of a playful, I want to interact with you bite. So she'll come up and, kind of nibble on people. And And it's because she didn't learn from her litter mates when it's too hard of a bite or when she's not supposed to bite, because, if they play with each other, they bite each other, they correct each other and things like that. So that's how they learn. She didn't learn that. So she just bites everybody. But it's usually in affection that she's biting people, so that's one of her little quirks that she has. And another one is that she does the whole making biscuits thing. And when she does it, she has to bite like the shirt or the blanket or something.
Yeah, try to hold you down.
Yeah, and that's another thing that cats that are not raised with their mothers will do. That they'll do that throughout their life because they're kind of seeking that comfort. They'll do it more than normal cats do. So that's one of her little quirks. But she's a sweet cat, even though she's feisty.
Yeah, and she monitors your heart.
She monitors your heart.
Yeah, my heart.
She walks on my face.
Yeah, she comes every morning and lays on my chest to make sure I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she likes to.
Time to go.
She likes to. I call it cat loafing. She likes to lay like a little loaf on you.
Yeah. And she wasn't an outdoor cat, but now she is experimenting and wandering around.
Yeah, she likes to bolt out the door whenever we open it. So sometimes she likes to be an outside cat, and then when she's ready to come back in, she'll usually be meowing at the door, and then I'll say, "Oh, you want to be an inside cat again? Okay."
Yeah, I figure like if cats get out and they get out, if they don't come back, they had a good life, But
yeah, she always.
I used to get distraught, like when your cat gets out, you're like, "Oh no, my cat."
I know.
But if they get out, they'll be back. And
I was sort of that way too for a while.
Distraught, like, "Oh, my life is over, my cat."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, she just hangs around the yard pretty much. She doesn't go anywhere really. And then of course she gets hungry or wet in the rain or whatever, and then she just wants to come back inside. So she's a fun one, this one. But so yeah, that's Bagheera. We also have two other cats. One of them is very old, and I've had her since she was a kitten as well, and her name is Penelope.
Okay. How old is this Miss Penelope?
She's old.
Old.
She is 17 human years old.
What year?
How much is that in animal years?
I don't know how that.
Isn't it go by like for every human year that it's like 7 years?
That's for dogs.
I think it's similar for cats.
I don't know what the cat one is.
I don't know.
Maybe 5 years for cat. It's not. I don't think it's the same, but
you don't think so?
Cats can live long.
Oh, they can. Yeah.
Like 20 years.
Yeah, they can. Well, she's
maybe
17.
Even longer.
Yeah, she's 17, and I've had her since she was a kitten. I bought her on Craigslist.
Oh yeah, the Craigslist kitten buy
for $20.
Okay, so with inflation, that was like $100 cat. I guess. 17 years ago. Oh yeah,
$20.
That's expensive. That's an expensive.
I know. And never mind the expenses I've had with her over the years. I mean, gosh.
Okay.
But
explain it.
So yeah,
explain some of the
she was a Craigslist kitten
that this 17-year-old cat has cost you.
Well,
if you could put a dollar figure on it, how much do you think it actually is? $20K?
More than that, I'm sure.
Wow.
I mean, so one time when she was about 2, she swallowed a piece of rubber and got a blockage in her intestines and got really sick. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong for like a week until they finally went in and did exploratory surgery and saw that she had gotten a blockage in her intestines because this piece of rubber was big enough it got lodged, and they had to surgically remove it. And they had to remove a length of her intestines as well. So she's had a sensitive stomach ever since then.
Yeah, and she's on medication that's probably super expensive as well.
Well, yeah, she's got thyroid. She's got an overactive thyroid at this point, and she's got kidney disease, which is relatively common in cats. And she's old, So
and she's old.
She's on the medication. But that surgery alone to save her life when she was 2 was $6,000.
Wow.
But,
and she was still a very good cat.
Oh, she's wonderful.
pretty mobile for 17.
She is. She is. She's the OG, that one, and she she tolerates the other animals. She's not real crazy about them, but she'll put them in their place if they mess with her too much.
Yeah, she's like the grandmother of the group.
She's the grandma here, and she lets them. I think she lets them think that they're in charge, but really she's in charge.
Yeah, you're right. You read about that one.
So, but yeah, Penelope, she's beautiful. I think what they call her coloration is like seal point. She's like tabby seal point sort of. So she's like cream color. I think she was the only one of that color in her litter.
Well, she's not cream color no more. She is gray.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Actually, it's what's interesting is that her coloration got darker as she got older. So when she was a kitten, she was a lot lighter.
Yeah.
But no, I bought her on Craigslist for $20, and I went to pick her up. This person like shoved this little kitten through, cracked the door open, shoved this little kitten out, grabbed my $20, and shut the door, and that was it. That's how I got her. But yeah, that's Penelope, and she's been through a lot with me. You know, she's lived in like 3 different places with me.
Okay.
When we first got her, I wasn't even allowed to have animals in the apartment.
You snuck her in.
I didn't care. I snuck her in.
Yeah, whatever. You know, whatever happened.
And you know what? I think that they knew that I had a cat and I wasn't supposed to. Okay. What were they gonna say? What were they gonna say?
They can say. Yeah, you're right.
So, and then soon after that, I bought my first house anyway. But yeah, that's Penelope. She's the old lady, 17, and going strong. You know, she's relatively healthy.
Yeah, she's going to live another 17.
I hope so.
She set a record.
I hope so.
I wonder what the record is.
I want to say it's like 30-something
30-something years old?
Yeah, for a cat.
Have you ever seen the heaviest cat?
I don't know.
Like there's a difference, like a domesticated cat.
I've seen some heavy cats.
The tabby cats are huge.
Yeah. Yeah, they tend to be bigger.
Yeah.
But her name is Penelope because I've always had, since I was a kid, I've had a fascination with having a cat named Penelope. And I think it's because there was a show that I used to watch when I was a kid on Nickelodeon that was called Pinwheels that had, like the puppet Muppet sort of thing.
Okay.
And claymation and whatever. And there was this character on there whose name was Ebenezer, and he was like a grumpy old man, sort of.
Okay, Eb. Old grumpy Eb.
Ebenezer. And he had a cat whose name was Penelope. And I don't even remember what the cat looked like, but I just remember that this cat, he loved this cat. He was grumpy with most people, but he was really always super sweet to the cat, and I was always very happy when he was around the cat. So I think that's kind of where my fascination with a cat named Penelope came from. So when I got her, Penelope was her name. And she was really the first pet that I had as an adult, so yeah, that's Penelope. And then the last cat that we have.
Explain how you got this one.
Is Mr. Socks. His name is Socks because he has white paws and he's dark everywhere else. But when I bought this house, there were a lot of stray cats around here. Like our neighbor would feed the cat colony, basically.
She still has a cat colony.
Oh, she still does. Well. Yeah, she still does. And but it was a lot worse when I bought this house. Like there were cats everywhere, and she wasn't like getting them trapped and spayed and neutered and returned and stuff like that. There's like the county will do that for you to control the population, but that was not happening. So there were a lot of stray cats. And so Socks was one of many kitten litters that were had by these stray cats. And the stray cat mama that had him was a stray cat that would come around my house asking for food and stuff. She was feral, and she would not let me touch her or anything like that, but she still wanted food, and she would come to my house. Yeah, I hate
those kind of cats.
But she was a sweet cat anyway, and so she had a litter, and he was one of her kittens. And he was really small and really skinny, and after a while, like he would follow her around, and after a while, she was kind of like done with him, and like would slap him around.
Throw him, yeah.
She would knock him over because he wanted to come cuddle with her.
Yeah, he's not a fighter.
And I would feel bad because he was small and skinny, and he just wanted his mama, and she would slap him around.
Okay.
You know?
And you observed this, and you're like,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna catch that one.
And so he was hungry, and so I kind of lured
You
him
hoaxed
close
him over.
with some food one day. And while he was eating, had his face in the food, I grabbed him real quick. And that was it. I brought him inside, and that's how I got Socks.
And my mother cat was probably like, thank God she grabbed him.
She was probably like, I thought I'd never get rid of him.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's how I acquired Socks.
Yeah, and he's got like white feet, so it looks like Socks.
Yeah.
And he's like the color of a blue pit bull. You ever see a blue nose pit?
Oh, is that the color he
Like
is?
a grayish.
Like a dark gray, black.
Yeah. So
He sort of has stripes.
yeah,
a little
he's
bit.
got something going on.
Yeah,
but
and he's like
that's-
medium haired.
Yeah.
So, because I think the father was a long haired cat, and the mother straight cat was a short haired cat. So he's like medium
and you
haired.
got this weird, mix.
Yeah.
Probably inbred. That's
Uh,
why he
who
can't
knows?
fight.
That's why he can't
Nah,
fight, 'cause
just
he's
joking.
inbred.
Yeah.
He's just not a fighter. He's a little lover.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's pretty cool though.
But no, he will get pushed around by Bagheera in particular, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
And like she'll swat at him and he'll just kind of fall over and not, swat her back or anything like that. So he's very sweet. He doesn't like to fight, but he's a sweet cat, and he's very cuddly. He loves to cuddle. He's a champion biscuit maker. Like he can make biscuits like nobody else. And he's a sweet cat too. So, but he's not part of the pack.
No.
He in
definitely
particular is not part of the
No,
pack for some
he's-
reason. I don't know why.
not. Public enemy number one.
Yes.
Easy target.
Dogs are on high alert when they think that he might be coming into the bed.
Yeah, and they'll just beat him up real quick and it's over. So he's fucked.
They just bark really loud and act like they're gonna like lunge at him, but they don't really do anything to him. And he just runs off. But so yeah, we try to preemptively, if we see that he's approaching, we're like, no, dude, the dogs are in the bed. You can't be here. And I feel bad sometimes, but sometimes we'll lock the dogs out and he'll be in there and he'll get his cuddle time.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's soft.
Yeah, he's a good cat though. But he's so yeah. That is the zoo.
Yes, and we're thinking about getting one more. Not another cat or another dog, but I think we're probably gonna do like a fish or something.
A fish,
Yeah,
a fighter fish.
yeah.
Beta fish.
I want a beta fish, But I don't want a beta fish too because I know this little cat right here will get him. I think
You
she
think
will.
so? You think she'll pluck
She
her little
will
paws in there and scoop him right out?
Yep, pluck his ass out, and I'll come home and be like, "Where's my fish?" And she'll be over there, licking her chops with the beta fish in her mouth.
Probably. She
Yeah,
probably will be.
that's heartbreaking. That's hard. Like imagine being like a little kid. Next thing you know, you come home and your beta fish is in the mouth of your cat.
Hmm.
You're like, no.
Emotional damage.
Yes. So I don't want to go through that.
Well,
That's why
if we have
hamsters.
fish-
That's why hamsters don't mate. Doesn't mix with cats.
Oh, I
'Cause
feel like that would be even worse.
Yeah, I
than
know.
a
Well, you
fish.
think like your cat. There's no way that your cat's a murderer. I raised this cat. And that cat's like,
That cat's a cat,
I am a
and that hamster is a
hamster.
rodent.
I am a hamster murderer. So that's why it's a horrible idea
Hamster murder.
to get rodents if you have cats. Horrible idea. So
Yeah, I can see that.
So we're gonna
that.
cancel the fish. We'll just go look
Well,
at
if
PetSmart.
if we get one, we can just kind of put it up in an area where they can't access the.
I want a goldfish pond outside,
Well, that's not going to work.
but it
clearly.
won't work
That will
because
clearly not work.
this cat
Because Phoenix will drink all of the water out of it.
and probably eat the fish. I think.
And
he
he
would
would
probably eat a
hop
fish.
in there and just eat the fish. And,
Yeah.
and Valkyrie certainly would.
Yeah, but have you ever seen an outdoor koi fish pond?
I have.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't have other animals.
Yeah,
That
I know.
will see them as lunch.
I would love it. And I could build one, but it won't work.
No. Well, who knows?
Who knows? I would do the DIY.
The DIY koi pond.
Yep.
Where would you find these koi? Are they
I would
expensive?
Amazon maybe.
Right, you can buy them.
I don't think so, but
But
they're not that expensive.
They're not?
They're probably you probably get one for like, I would say I don't even know,
I don't know.
but I've seen some pretty big ones.
Well, yeah, they can get really large.
They get big. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Now, how does one? I know an aquarium is a lot of work to keep clean.
Oh, it is.
How do you keep a koi pond clean?
The fish do
Especially
it.
if it's outside.
The fish.
Oh, the fish do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time.
All right. Self cleaning.
You gotta have a filter that filters it out.
Mhm.
Special. You
Okay.
gotta be invested.
Well, clearly.
You can't let a fish that expensive. You're not gonna let it die.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know. I suppose.
Make them
there's a
start
way.
super small,
Mhm.
and they'll stay small if they're in a small area, like a
Okay.
small koi fish pond.
Mhm.
But if they're in a big one,
Yeah.
they will get gigantic.
Huh.
So they're kind of like their habitat, determines how big they will actually get. But they can get huge.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, I know the goldfish can get very big too.
Yeah.
They only stay small because they're in small
In-
aquariums in your
yes,
house.
in
But like
there.
out in, if they're like in a lake or something, they'll get big,
Oh yeah.
which is weird to think about.
I had a goldfish one time and it got a little bladder disease, and it floated upside down. Yeah, it had something wrong with its bladder. So there was like oh no, this is a thing. No, this is a thing, right? So the goldfish had like a problem
Yeah.
where air bubble.
I'm not sure it's its
develop-
bladder. I've heard of that before, but where they float. It's some kind of issue that
It's
they have.
not a bladder.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I
I don't know
think
what body part it is.
a
You think so?
bladder. I'm not sure. This is why we need a fact checker. Fact check. Do goldfish have bladders? And then boom, it would pop up, and I'd be like, "I told you."
Okay.
Right.
I will consider the fact check.
So, anyways, my goldfish
Mhm.
got a bladder infection. I'm just saying it's gonna be a bladder thing. It
Some
could
kind
be
of
something
issue.
else.
Okay.
Whatever it is,
Could've just
whatever
had
it is,
gas.
right? It could be gas, but then eventually it would be like bloop bloop bloop, and the gas would go away, right? You'd see a little
I don't
bubble
know.
come out of the goldfish's butt, and then it would be able to swim normal, right? But that's not what happened. This thing, I came home, and I thought it was dead because it
'Cause it
was
was just
upside
floating?
down.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
was like, oh man, I'm like, damn it, another one. I'm like, the cat didn't get it. Now it's just dead. So I'm like a little sad. And then the next thing you know, the thing starts moving. I'm like, what? And I'm like poking it, and it started
Oh my
swimming.
goodness.
And it was good. It just
Oh.
swam upside down.
Oh, he swam upside
His whole life, he had to swim
Oh no.
upside down because he had an air bubble stuck in his body, so it wouldn't allow him to swim properly. So they say that, and I like Googled it and tried to figure out what was wrong with it, and there was nothing I could do, and it lived probably for a good year swimming
Really?
upside down.
A
Yeah,
whole year?
yeah.
Oh my god.
He hung in there. He was
Wow.
Goldie. His name was Goldie.
Gold.
And he was a goldfish, but he was a black goldfish.
Oh, I've had those before.
It was cool. He was
Yeah.
cool. He lasted a whole year.
Goldie.
So goldfish are actually nasty. They're a dirty fish.
Yeah.
You need a sucker fish.
You do need a sucker fish with them.
So if I was gonna go the fish route, I would not get a goldfish. Goldfish is not I would go another route. I like the neon ones, the ones that glow.
Right, but those aren't goldfish. Those are a different
No,
kind of
but
fish.
I like the glowing little neon pink ones, green, purple, blue,
Yes.
whatever, all that. I like the color because then it's like a showpiece,
True.
But yeah, I definitely would not get a goldfish unless I had a sucker fish. So every aquarium needs a sucker fish, but
Hmm.
it takes a lot of work, you know.
It does take a lot of work.
And we got the cat.
We got
The
the
cat will,
cats.
I'm telling you, scoop that thing out and it's over.
It'll be a nice little snack, right, Bagheera?
Yes.
So, we like true crime also.
Yes.
In addition to our love of animals and all that stuff. So, I think it'd be kind of cool to add like a true crime spin to all of our episodes. Because really, no matter what it is that we talk about, there is some sort of crime that is committed associated with
definitely.
it.
And we wanted to introduce the family, so we wanted to introduce everybody,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, we're big animal lovers. We love them to pieces, and I think part of that is being particularly, sensitive to crimes associated with animals.
Yep.
And I personally, I think that those are some of the worst crimes that can be committed.
Oh yeah.
The animal cruelty,
animal abuse and animal
neglect and things like that.
It's definitely
it's awful.
It's horrible because they don't think of animals their property,
Mm-hmm.
So they don't.
Some people don't believe that animals have feelings. I mean, like, really?
Oh yeah.
How can you look at a dog or a cat or something and think that they don't have feelings?
Yeah.
And that they don't have little thoughts, and they don't feel fear, and they don't feel happy, and they don't feel like, how? I don't understand that. But there are people in this world that view them as property and not living sentient beings, which they are.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. They actually make a human complete, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're a key part of our connection to nature.
Yep, nature and life.
Full
circle.
This connection to nature that I think we've lost so much of through modernization and social media, and just the way that we live our lives now. We're not connected to nature, and I think that that's hugely detrimental to us, to our health, both physical and mental, and just in general our well-being. So I think animals are so important to that connection. And when you hear about people not appreciating that connection or appreciating the animal's role in that connection, it's quite heartbreaking and infuriating sometimes.
Yeah, I don't agree with the animal abuse at all. It's very serious.
And I'm glad to see that some states, I think Florida might be one of them, are coming up with these laws where they have like animal abuser registries, to where it's almost like the sex offender registries, that if you've ever been convicted or whatever of animal abuse, they put you on this registry so you can't adopt an animal again, which I think is great, so that you're not, just out there being cruel to animals and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see that states are taking that more seriously and putting those safeguards in place for the animals that can't speak for themselves.
Yeah, if I ever win the lotto or get super successful, I would love to do something with animal rehabilitation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, if money was no object for me, I would have all the dogs.
Yeah. If I had a farm, I would definitely have a lot of animals and dogs.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
and so
we are pet lovers, and we're going to continue to love pets.
So I think, along that true crime vein of, associated with animals, I think probably when you think of that, the case that comes to everyone's mind is probably the Michael Vick case, right?
Yeah, the Michael Vick case.
Which, I did some research on it the other day, and I'll tell you, it was hard. It was hard. It's just very, very cruel, the things that happened. And
yeah, he was one of my favorite athletes until that happened. And he got a second chance in the NFL, which I don't agree with him getting a second chance. And they kind of looked the other way in his case because he had that extraordinary talent, you know.
I guess. Well, and he was an athlete, and he had the means to,
Yeah.
I guess pay for the
Uh-huh.
lawyers and all
And
that
he threw
stuff.
the prime of his career away, you know. He came back from it after a couple years, and but he was a mega star at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he had no business doing what he was doing because he was rich already.
Mm-hmm.
He had a Nike deal that was worth more than his NFL contract, right? So they were looking for a Michael Jordan. They were looking for the Michael Jordan of football. And he was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw all that away for fighting dogs. And they wanted to hit him with organized crime. Which
I wish they would have.
Which they probably tried.
I wish they would have
But
hit him
they
with everything,
but
so
they
he could have
probably
stayed in jail for a good long time.
but they probably couldn't prove it, you know? So we call this hustling backwards, is what they call
Well,
it.
and see, that's the thing about it, is that there wasn't a need behind. He didn't need
There
the
wasn't a
money
need for it.
or the that side of it,
He just
So
liked to.
then at that point, if you're not doing it for the money, what are you doing it for? Just simply to be an awful human being that
also,
abuses animals.
I don't know the guy. Maybe he was at one point an animal lover. Maybe he was an animal lover, so maybe he did love animals growing up, maybe. But I don't want to defend him. And
I don't understand.
I think
don't
that
understand how he could have done those things.
well, he
then.
made a huge mistake by letting people around him, and he had taken care of the whole neighborhood, and he had some people around him because he was the guy, he was the it man, and that he didn't have the right people around him, and it is what it is, but you got to be careful who you let in.
I think that if you can harm an innocent animal for your own gain or for whatever, which wasn't monetary in his case, so then what was he getting?
No, what they would do is they had feeder dogs. So what they do is they go get a dog that can't fight, and they let that dog loose, and the dogs that they're training to fight will go all attack this one dog.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
It's very cruel.
And the dog don't even have a chance because he's already hurt.
Yeah.
So
it's all very cruel. So somebody that is able to do that and derives some kind of, I don't know, satisfaction, whatever, out of that, like that says something about you intrinsically as a person, in my opinion, that you can watch an innocent animal suffer that way or be, harmed in that way.
So he only got 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And he got like a 3-year suspended sentence and this and that and all that. And he got to return to the NFL.
I don't think he deserved it.
But he didn't, and nobody, it was weird because no teams wanted him. With the talent.
Who would want somebody like that?
Well, no, now if you've seen how
I know it's two different things, the
right.
football talent versus his
being a person.
The type of human he is, but
right.
I mean, at the same time, I guess these teams they understand that they don't want that image associated with them.
A team did take him, and he came back and he did good, but he, like I said, he threw away the prime because he was playing for Atlanta, and Atlanta was hot, red hot, and then boom, it happened, and so I'd like to. I probably won't cover that one, but it's a fascinating thing to see the guy ruin his whole image by dogfighting.
Yeah, and the whole the court case and all that stuff, and just to me, I focus, I guess, because my background is in psychology. I focus more on the motivation behind the actual behavior, and I
don't know what the motivation
I'll tell you, I just don't get it.
The motivation would probably be he was just wanting to hang out, trying to be a thug. Is what it was.
I just don't get it.
That's what it was, for sure. His boys, his friends want to be cool in front of his friends and shit. Come check this out. Look at these dogs I got. Let's gamble. I'm bored. I got $200 million. I'm bored.
Bored. I
Exactly.
mean,
Exactly.
I thought he was busy being the best, like a really good football
He
player.
thought he was.
You know?
Everybody else thought he was too. They were throwing money throwing money at
Yeah,
him left, left and right.
there are ways to
You're right.
be cool and
But
hang with your boys where you're not
when you're in Atlanta,
harming,
and you gotta show people
animals.
how cool you are, you gotta stun on them. Throwing the dice, gambling. They're like, let's go fight some dogs.
I will never understand that. And what gets me is that I guess he was quoted at some point saying that he wanted to at some point be allowed to have a family dog, have a dog as a pet.
Was that one of the terms of his probation or his?
I don't know.
release?
I don't know if that was one of the terms or not, but it seemed
He doesn't
like
deserve a dog.
it almost seemed like he wasn't allowed to have one, and that he wished to have one day. And I was just like, what, really?
Yeah, he'd probably
Really?
fight
No,
the dog.
You've lost that privilege.
Yeah.
Forever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Once you do the things that he did, I don't think that you deserve it, and I hope he never does have a family pet. And it's kind of sad because they followed a lot of the dogs that they rescued from that dog fighting ring.
Oh, they have a
for the rest of their lives. I think there were like 50 something dogs that they saved.
And
they were actually able to
rehabilitate
most of them. I think there was only like one or two that they recommended to be euthanized because they were just too aggressive and too traumatized.
Oh yeah,
from what they went through.
But some of them made it back.
But a lot of them went on to live their lives, and of course they had issues, and the physical and the mental harm that it did to them. But I think the courts appointed a special guardian to kind of make sure, kind of look after these dogs and make sure that they went to rescues and they were rehabilitated and things like that, and they did. And I've read some of the stories about some of these dogs that they, even though they had been terribly abused and stuff, and they still were sweet and good dogs that were able to still live out a life, which is a happy ending to, I guess.
So that's the one thing a dog will give you is unconditional love.
And I think that's the remarkable thing about dogs is that their love is unconditional, even if they're mistreated and everything.
They'll still love you.
They'll still love you.
You're right.
No matter what. And that I think is the extraordinary thing.
And it don't matter how much you could have had the worst day ever. Mm-hmm. And you come home and you're like, come here. And the dog will be like, you're all right. And he knows.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that a dog does that a cat doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I
Man's
thought that was
best friend for a reason.
Kind of cool when I read about the case that that most of the dogs went on to live full lives. I think they at this point they've all passed away because just the lifespan of dogs and stuff.
There are a bunch of interviews of Michael Vick after, and then after he didn't really comment too much on it while he was still playing because he didn't want to, but people asked him like why, and he didn't have an answer.
Yeah, because there is no good reason.
And he did blame the guys I had around me, blah blah blah. It was that you were trying to flex,
Yeah. Whatever the reason was will never be good enough.
It is what it is. And
yeah, that's a really sad case. But along with our true crime fascination, I figured it'd be good to at least touch upon true crime cases.
And if a normal guy did what he did, it would be worse. He got 18 months.
He should have gotten more.
And then he got 3 years suspended sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's only because they really couldn't prove the organized crime. Like if they would have stumbled across his little ring and there would have been like $2 million in cash there.
Yeah.
That would have been some problems.
I mean, the organized crime aspect of it was probably the way that he would have gotten the most time. And really, when you think about when that happened, I think a lot of more strict animal cruelty laws have come into place
Yes,
since then.
and then since
So if that
then.
had happened recently, the outcome might have even been different still.
Here's the weird thing about that whole scenario is when it comes to animals, it goes state by state.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them have some really weird laws,
Mm-hmm.
and laws are different. So that's one thing that I'm interested in is I want to do where like we pick a state and then we compare it to this state. And we compare the laws and see how different they are.
Yeah.
So that's another interesting idea that we might want to cover later on in the
I think it's pretty cool. I think
journey.
I think it's kind of cool that you and I both kind of are interested in true crime, but we're sort of interested in different aspects of it. You know, like I find like the court and the law side of it interesting too. But to me, I find the motivation and the psychology behind it the most fascinating part. Like, why do people commit crimes? What's their motivation? You know, what did they get out of it that they arrived at committing that crime?
Why? You want to know why?
I want to know why.
But sometimes they don't know why.
Yeah, sometimes they don't know why.
They just do it.
But all human behaviors are motivated by something. And it's not always a simple answer. Sometimes it's a number of things that motivates us to do the things that
And
we
how
do.
can you tell when they're lying? When you ask that person why, and he's like, and then he tells you, and you're like, you're lying.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Some people are really good liars.
Oof.
And some people are really bad liars. Sometimes you can tell, but I don't know. That side of it is interesting. So I think when we cover true crime cases, it's going to be good because I think you'll be more interested in like the law legal side of it, but I'll
And the true crime
in
episodes are coming soon, baby.
Yes, we're thinking of some good cases.
Oh yeah. So
it'll be.
We
fun.
did our last little intro, and we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna start doing some true crime.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. We'll have to.
It's gonna be great.
Pick a good case. To do the first true crime episode on.
Yeah, coming soon, baby. Coming soon.
We'll probably start doing our research on that, and so.
Definitely.
So that'll be fun, honey.
Yeah, we did.
This was a fun conversation.
Oh yeah, it was definitely good, and we're gonna try and release more. We're gonna try to get back into the weekly ones.
Who doesn't love talking about animals? Especially our animals.
Oh yeah, the pack, baby, the pack. All right, well, new episodes coming soon.
It's really fast.
And have a good night. Stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out.
Stay connected to the podcast via handle @IntriguingInsightsPodcast on YouTube and Gmail, and handle @IntriguingInsightsPod on Instagram.
See you next time.